The F logo represents Fuji Speedway in Japan, where they do most of the testing, and the RCF is no different from the ISF and LFA before it when it comes to ultimate performance. Now, when you have performance, you need to stop, and the stopping power here comes from 15-inch front rotors with 6-piston calipers, 13.6-inch rotors in the rear with 4-piston calipers, so there's a lot of heat dissipation and clamping force. The standard packages include heated side view mirrors, which obviously nice for colder climates, as well as LED headlights and taillights. So that helps with looks, and it also improves fuel economy because they consume less power. Standard LFA, ISF, and RCF looks come from the quad exhausts in the rear that are stacked diagonally. The carbon fiber spoiler is a package, but the electronic wing is part of a premium package for the RCF, which comes up at 50 miles an hour and drops on its own, of course, or at 80 miles an hour in eco mode. Now, the engine on this is a 5-liter aluminum V8 that has 467 horsepower at 7,100 RPMs, 389 foot-pounds of torque from 4,800 to 5,600 RPMs. So it's a nice flat torque curve. Now, the suspension system on this uses a front wishbone and a rear multi-link, just like the ISF. They've just kind of refined it a little bit more. Shifts very quickly, 0.3 seconds upshift, 0.2 second downshift. And that comes from an 8-speed automatic that has the flappy paddles, of course, on the steering wheel. There is no clutch pedal as a result, but on gears 2nd through 8, the torque converter locks. So when you're in Sport Plus mode, it drives just like a manual, where you get those fast shifts. They are the same gear ratios as the RC350, which is the V6 model. However, the rear differential changes the final drive ratio, and that gives you a bit more speed. I'm sure, as you can tell, the idea of Lexus is to give you a comfortable ride but still have nearly flat level cornering. When the car is more level in the corners, you're going to have less body roll, obviously, but the idea of that is it's much easier to drive and it's more predictable. Now, there are different packages you can purchase with this. The base model starts at just over $62,000, and then you can get into the premium package and the performance package. Performance package is going to give you a carbon fiber roof to match that nice carbon fiber spoiler you saw a little while ago. That will reduce weight, of course, but the idea is it lowers your center of gravity, because as soon as you eliminate weight on the roof, that's going to give you even better handling dynamics, in addition to, of course, the nice looks. Now, fuel economy is actually pretty good on this, considering the horsepower. 16 miles per gallon in the city, 25 on the highway, so that gives you 19 combined. Now, they do that through an Atkinson cycle, which effectively drops the displacement to a 4.4 liter when you don't need it. But when the power is required, you can get on there pretty quick. There are different sport modes. You have Sport and Sport Plus. Sport Plus is going to change the gauge cluster a bit. It also increases the shift points, the speed of the shift point. It will lock, again, the torque converter like I mentioned earlier, so there's no slip. And also, when you're in the corners, it won't shift up automatically, and it uses the G sensor to measure that, and it won't screw up your shift where you're waiting for that right gear to come out. There is also a TVD, torque vectoring differential. The TVD is going to help distribute power from the left and right wheels, and that's going to help you do this, kick the back end out. There are track modes, which are going to give you the most cornering grip. Slalom mode is going to give you a more snappy rear end, so if you need to have some fun and get the car sideways, you can certainly do that. And to keep everything under check, you have large oil and transmission coolers on the front bumper. The left and right grills are actually much larger than the RC350 just for that reason. Now, when you have that kind of cornering force, stopping force, and acceleration, you need good seats. Lexus designed these seats to hold you in as much as possible without being uncomfortable or intolerable. Now, you have air-conditioned seats, of course, so that's why you see all the perforation in the leather. But the idea of the design of the seats, as far as the stitching goes, is to minimize you sliding around. It's not just the bolsters that hold you. The grooves in the fabric actually help grab your clothes. Alright, the last part I want to talk about before we hit the racetrack is the gauge cluster. Now, the center cluster changes based on what drive mode that you're in. So if you switch to Sport Plus, you can expect the tachometer to look much more bold and in your face. whereas economy mode is going to eliminate the tachometer altogether. Now the tach as well as other options are customizable, so you can change the shift points, you can change the color of the needle, and on the left side of the screen you can choose what information you want available to you while you're driving. And that of course includes your lap timer, there you go, miles per gallon, G-forces, by using the G-force meter. You can check tire pressure, what your torque vectoring differential is doing to your left and right wheels, and even get a heads up on when a turn is coming if you're using the navigation. Now there's a lot of other things available to you, but you get the idea. It's very dynamic and it's great for the track because I use the G-force meter and it's just cool seeing that bounce back and forth when you take the turns. So stay tuned, we're going to hit up the track now and you can see what this bad boy does. This is the 2015 RC F. And it's awesome. Has a super fast upshifts. Has 19 by 9s in the front, 19 by 10 in the back. So it is just it's got good traction. I mean the car's heavy so it kind of needs it, but they dialed it in really well so it doesn't feel that heavy. Push the brakes a lot. Tip. The ABS squirming. another go. Back end out, but the car doesn't like it. Hopefully the camera's still there. We'll see.